Greetings, members one and all of the Salivation Nation. How this metal became more precious than gold. Let's explore. And I'm not talking about rhodium. For those who thought that was the case, well, you can see a playlist of my videos about rhodium. I certainly have talked about that a lot. But I'm talking about another metal that, unlike rhodium, has been actually cheaper than gold for a lot longer time. But now it is certainly exploding in price. And I'm talking about, boom shalaka, palladium. That's right. Palladium is the metal that has really taken off, and it has continued to stay very high. Though it is a volatile metal, it is not quite as volatile as rhodium, and it has certainly shown some very strong gains over the years indeed. So we're going to take a look at this metal as we reference publication, really, believe it or not, by the Washington Post. Of the four precious metals, notwithstanding rhodium, which does not really track its price as often as the others do, but palladium is the winner of the other four: gold, silver, and platinum. And palladium comes out on top. It's an acute shortage that's driving the prices to records in recent years. And as we know, it is a key component in pollution control devices, in other words, catalytic converters, for cars and trucks. The metal's price has been on a tear, rising more than sixfold since early 2016, an increase that's lifted it above the price of gold. The palladium that you see here, I bought when it's much cheaper. In fact, some of this I bought it when it was at record lows. I'm talking in the hundreds of dollars. This piece here and this bar, I believe, especially these pieces, I know I bought it when it was about $167 an ounce. So it is amazing to see how it's climbed up since then, for sure. It is a lustrous white metal, but as you can see, it's a little bit more dull than silver, comparatively. Here's a silver coin or round compared to palladium, and you can see the difference in the colorization of it. It's along with ruthenium, rhodium, osmium, iridium, and platinum itself, it makes up this platinum group metals. There's 6 metals in those category. About 85% of palladium ends up in these catalytic converters and car exhaust, so a great majority of it for that sole purpose. It's pretty amazing when you think about it. And obviously, we know it filters out the toxic pollutants into less harmful carbon dioxide and water vapor. It is also used in electronics, dentistry, and jewelry. In fact, a buddy of mine has a palladium ring that his wife wears because, she's allergic to gold, believe it or not. The metal is mined primarily in 2 locations, Russia and South Africa. And it's mostly extracted as a secondary product from operations that are focused on other metals, such as platinum or nickel. So we have seen prolonged shortages over the course of time, for sure, and this is why it's becoming much more expensive and becoming more precious. Supply has lagged demand for almost a decade. Usage is increasing as governments, especially China's, tightened regulations to crack down on pollution from vehicles, forcing automakers to increase the amount of precious metal they consume. And so far, there's not been a massive exchange or tooling conforming or configuration transfer into using platinum instead of palladium. And vehicles, they use this palladium. It's a better filter, essentially, whereas platinum is used for diesel vehicles. And that conversion still has not taken place on a mass scale. to where they're using platinum to replace palladium. And so the reason why supply is so tight is because it's a byproduct, means producers aren't quick to respond to these price changes. We have seen the pandemic, the coronavirus resulting disruptions at mine operations has also reduced production. And then, you may remember I reported on this quite some time, a while ago here, there was some flooding at Arctic mines that occurred back in February that exacerbated supply concerns. So as a result, output is projected to fall short of demand for a 10th straight year in 2021. And now a lot of that has been fixed at the mine, but even a slowdown for metal as rare as this means that it's going to take some time, and it's going to add to this massive short. That's helped drive prices to successive records. And there's some obscure metals like rhodium are still more valuable, but palladium has mainly traded above gold really since about the beginning of 2019. And so we can see here there are charts that show that crossover that took place was right there at around the beginning of 2019. And ever since then, it has been on a tear. It has been skyrocketing. At one point, it did get up to $3,000 an ounce for a brief period of time. Palladium is certainly a fascinating metal. And there are some winners and losers as far as how you can invest in the metal, such as some companies like MMC, Norilsk, Nickel, PJSC. They're the biggest palladium producer. They're the ones that had that mine that flooded. The rally is also good news for South Africa's platinum miners who dig it up alongside their primary metal. Car makers are having to pay more for the metal and may eventually pass that increase on to consumers. I would dare say they already have started, because along with inflation, the cost for new vehicles have gone up, and also for used vehicles they've gone up as well. Here is a palladium maple leaf. Of course, the dullness in this coin is mainly due to the packaging, but nonetheless, this is even when it's outside, it's not the most attractive metal out there for sure, but nonetheless, it is there, and there are ways to finish the metal so that it is shinier. Indeed, like this Pamp Suisse bar is beautiful with the cornucopia on it. Very, very nice indeed. So, palladium is volatile. Precious metals like this that are used in small quantities by the auto industry have a history of price spikes when demand outstrips supply. It's a rare metal. Some say that palladium is about 15 times rarer than platinum, and platinum is 15 times or 15 to 20 times more rare than gold. And we remember there was a decade following in 1998, platinum soared to more than 500% as a shortage caught the attention of speculative buyers. Rhodium, which rallied more than 4,000% over a similar period of time before car makers found ways to use less. And again, it climbed to a record in March of 2021. Palladium itself jumped ninefold from its lows in 1996 to a peak in 2001 as users worried Russian sales would slow. Now, the big question is what's going to be the projection for future prices? It's all going to depend on the automakers and if they can have an alternative. Substituting cheaper platinum appears to be gathering pace, but the conversion and retooling is an issue, according to some analysts, with an impact on palladium demand expected in the coming years. BASF SE developed a new technology for gasoline cars that substitutes some of the palladium with platinum. Research shows technological advances are needed before platinum can match the performance of existing palladium-based autocatalysts. But I was under the impression that platinum was used before, even for gasoline vehicles. So I could be wrong about that, but I was under the impression that though it's not the best alternative and substitute, it will work. And you may need more of it to do it. I don't know. But anyways, it's interesting to see here that they are doing research to see about switching it out. And Johnson Matthey PLC, which makes the devices, say that there's a lot of more technological advances that are needed before platinum can really match that. The company indicated in February that substitution was having a limited impact on PGM demand. Because remember, platinum is also rare. And the likes of Daimler AG are more focused on electrification and batteries than a metal that represents relatively small parts of cost. Although some say that platinum will be useful for hydrogen fuel cell technology. So how do electric cars fit in this, since 85% of the demand of palladium is in the automotive industry? We know electric cars don't burn fuel, they don't have exhaust pipes, and don't use palladium, although there is a lot of energy and a lot of fuel and coal that is used to create that electricity, from the charging stations to creating the cars themselves and the batteries. Still, the electrification of the majority of the world's automotive fleet will take years. So palladium are used in hybrid vehicles is also a growing source of demand. Hybrid vehicles are probably the one transition where you're going to see still palladium being used because of the gasoline aspects of those cars. And so that is probably the cheapest way to be able to save fuel, but also it's going to be something that palladium is going to be needed to filter out in the catalyst aspect there. So very interesting indeed, and this is why, essentially, it's because of increased demand, and it is very precious and very rare. Rarity plus demand, spike demand is going to add to skyrocketing costs. And that's what's happened here with palladium. And so I'm proud to have some in my stack. The question now is should you stack palladium? Well, when I bought this with a spot price basis of $167 per ounce, I probably paid $250 or maybe something for this palladium round from Stillwater Palladium. Well, it was a good investment. Where will they go now? I would guess that palladium still has the potential to move in an upwards trajectory. Many of you will say in the comment section below, I'm sure, that you're sticking with gold and silver, and that's fine. But I think it's fine to diversify a little bit into the platinum group metals. I know that's what I've done in the past, and for me, it's paying off. Well, it would if I sold these. But nonetheless, I also am a collector first and foremost, so I enjoy them there. For you, it's something that you'll have to make a decision on your own as to whether it's something to diversify in your stack. I do see room for it going up, but also, you never know, it could take a hit and it could go down as well. So there's risk involved with these speculative metals, precious metals like the palladium and rhodium, very speculative. Platinum, I think, has more potential in my view, but nonetheless, palladium has been on fire lately, and it could continue to go up in price. We shall see. Otherwise, I hope you enjoyed this video. I'd like to extend a multitude of gratitude to you all for taking the time to watch, and encourage you to please rate, slurp, comment, and subscribe.